Thank you, Carl. You can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. I don't know about you, but it has not been easy the last couple of months. I just got back from a 3-week vacation, and normally a vacation would be a vacation, right? Where'd you go? But we are living in not usual times. And the cumulative effect of everything we're going through as a community, as a people, as a nation, as a world, can be daunting, can be overwhelming. First, we're in a pandemic that has taken over 170 lives in this nation alone. And as I heard someone describe it recently, that's 170 families. It's not just individuals, it's family units that have been blown open and apart, that lives have been changed forever. On top of that, we're dealing with the economic turmoil that this pandemic has released and unleashed. And that is shifting all of our ways of being. And now we're trying to get back to school. And there's fear and apprehension and confusion and misleading statistics and reasons and worry and fear. In the midst of it, we've also become aware of the gross inequities in our life, in our communities, in our society, and rightfully have become more and more determined to shift that. But that pain is palpable on a daily basis. And at the same time, the world climate is shifting by our hands, by our actions. So many of you, like myself, might feel some days that we don't know where to turn, what to do, how to manage it all, juggle the kids, juggle work, worry about finding a job, handle how we're going to be with other people, how we keep each other safe, how we take care of ourselves, how we foster real communication and spiritual connection with each other. And before I left on vacation, I came up with this idea of doing this talk about being comfortable or getting comfortable being uncomfortable. What a great idea that was, right? And in the beginning of the thoughts and percolations I go through to do a talk, I contemplated nature. You know, even when a tree is stressed in nature, it has lots of options. It can curl up its leaves so that less of them are exposed to the heat of the sun. It can spread its roots further looking for water, or deeper, becoming more grounded, finding that rich source of nutrients and water deep in the soil. And it can shed its leaves, saving its energy and time for a more prosperous future, so that it survives to live another day. In the animal kingdom, too, we see this happening all over the place as animals adjust to the changing environment, shifting their behaviors to the actual situation in front of them. It's an evolutionary process that has given us this wide diversity of plants and animals on this planet. And one of the beauties of life itself is to see the cycles of time, the annual cycles, the rituals of life coming around. And yet, today, it can seem like everywhere we turn, there's a new obstacle, a new roadblock, and we no longer feel comfortable or in our groove. And so we going through this cycle of comfort, discomfort, comfort, discomfort, comfort, discomfort. We make plans and we have to shift them again. This constant yin and yang, this constant cycle of life itself. And when I found this image of that Chinese Taoist symbol of balance made completely out of water, I thought about the principles of water itself too. That water can adapt to whatever situation it's in. It can become frozen. It can lock in all of its properties. And that frozen water actually protects life underneath the frozen lake. Or it can become vapor. It can lift itself up out of the heat, literally, into the atmosphere and the clouds, becoming fog here in San Francisco mostly, but also rain and nutrients most plentiful elsewhere in the country. It also, in its liquid state, its stasis state, always seeps through, finds its pathway, carves out rivers and streams and canyons, and shifts the world around it. As human beings, we get into patterns, those canyons, those ruts, and we get comfortable in them. We get used to how life is. We get used to how we go to work, how we interact, how we go shopping, how we attend school, how we interact with family, how we blow out candles on a birthday cake. And all of that has changed. Every single thing we do has literally shifted over the last 6 months. And not just shifted once, right? The multiple ways we have had to adapt, make new plans, and then shift again has, I believe, taken, a cumulative toll on all of us. And I want to acknowledge what a miracle it is that we're here, that we do continue to do this service. I'm standing here in the middle of our Page Street building. It's beautiful, looking at our stained glass windows and this beautiful sanctuary with 4 of our closest friends in the room. And I know you're all out there. And I know because I speak to you when we Zoom together. But it is a new normal for all of us. In some ways it's better. But in some ways it's not comfortable. It's not what we're used to. And we sometimes will mourn that, long for it, and rightfully so. But the amazing thing about it is that comfort zones can be hypnotic. Comfort zones can be safe places that don't allow us to grow. And I love this quote. It says, comfort zones are expanded through discomfort. Right? That we're actual growth in our life, how we learn to take on more, to do more things, and to learn how to do things differently is by the discomfort. And I have witnessed in our community here, in my personal life, and in a lot of my other volunteer work in the world, that this discomfort, this place of not knowing how to do this, has made us more creative, has opened up opportunities for connection that we didn't know existed before. And there has been great growth in our discomfort by pushing the edge of what we're willing to do, pushing and expanding the edge of who we think we are and what we think we can accomplish, so that we go to the place where that balance, that constant recycling of comfort and discomfort is propelling us forward, lifting us to a higher place. In the past, we might have referred to this as divine discontent. That when we're chugging along and everything's going well, we often think of this as this place where, oh, we get this longing inside of us when we know something is not right. And I think the Black Lives Matter movement exemplifies that the best. That we had gotten lulled into seeing things as just the way they are and just the status quo. And I'll speak for myself, for me and my unconscious white privilege, didn't see the things that were right in front of my face. And this opportunity to be divinely unsettled, divinely motivated to shift things, to shift life itself, has been a great, great blessing of this. I cannot go back. I don't think the world can go backwards. And I don't think we will. I know when this first started, Deanne and I both talked to you about what it was we wanted to create after this pandemic. And now here we are 6 months into it, and I want to re-examine that question. And Steve Jobs said, the people crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. I believe that that's us lunatics. I believe that's you and I. When we can get beaten down, we can become overwhelmed, we can get sick and tired of the struggle. But remember the truth. Remember the teachings. Remember the principle that we always have God with us. That's why we use the tools like the work of Byron Katie, and examine our thoughts and our beliefs. And we think we can't go on, we ask the 4 questions. Is that true? Is that absolutely true that we can't go on? And examine our own thoughts and our beliefs about what other people are doing, about what other people should be doing, and about what we can accomplish. We can accomplish. And no matter how much anxiety or fear or frustration we may come across in our daily life during this time, and always, we can remember that anxiety goes away one breath at a time. That we can shift our being with prayer, with conscious meditation, with the tools of unity, of new thought, and of countless other spiritual practices. We can engage with a community who will listen, respond, and love us through it all, through all of our fears and craziness and doubts. So as we lift this moment, I would like us all remember that water also seeks its balance. It always seeks stillness and calm and that place to rest and settle, to gather together. And use that example as we take this into our time of meditation. That place of knowing that we are not alone, that we have each other, that God is right here with us and as us. That higher, I did. I was like, I kept waiting. I was clicking here to have the meditation begin for us. And I think it's now working. There's the music. See? In the midst of this, in the midst of the technology, in the midst of this seeming separation, we can come together in prayer. We can come together in meditation and let go of what no longer serves us.